Hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've done one of these updates, and I figured it's about time to do one again. So, first off, I just want to quickly apologize if there are any issues with the audio. My camera is currently not working, so I have to use my phone, and the recording feature isn't that great. So with that said, let's get started on some of the things, assuming you haven't seen any of my live streams that I've been doing recently, which I have been doing. That would be new to you. So I rearranged a little bit because I needed to make room for this monitor, which I've actually had kicking around for a long time, but I hadn't done anything with. It's just an old, I think, 13 or 15-inch monitor, probably more than likely a 15, and I had it laying around. I bought it for sort of this purpose, so that I could fit it in my IKEA cube, and it fits, like, with just a 1/4 inch to spare on that side and no room to spare on that side. I did have to take the front bezel off, which is why it looks kind of right there. But the goal was to fit it back there and then fit some cables behind there, so it's a nice thing to have there. I also got up and running, as you'll see, my FreeNAS box, which you can see is currently displaying a screensaver. So this has been, as you guys probably know, a very long endeavor that has actually gone over 6 months now. I haven't actively been working on it, but it's taken a long time. So I currently have it working. All the drives in there are active, and I can read and write to all of them. So I've got, just for a recap, three terabytes that are in a RAID 5, so that one of them is a spare, and two terabyte REDs, which I actually decided to do in just by themselves, no RAID, because they're new drives, they're reliable, and I'm not going to store my important stuff on there, so it won't even matter. The Seagate NAS is running. I just have it turned off at the moment, just because I don't need it, and my external that I don't know what to do with is over here, because, by the way, I replaced. This used to be my Time Machine backup right here, and I swapped it out for a 750 gig. I can show you actually. 750 gig portable hard drive that is USB powered, and you can see there it's zip tied right to the back of the iMac stand, so I don't have to keep, use up desk space, and I don't need an extra power cord. So it's also a much better use of space, because that's 3 terabytes and I was using 250 gigs. And the other one is, as I think I said, 750. On the floor here, I did a live stream about this, probably about 2 hours worth of working with it. This is a Dell PowerEdge 2950, one of the rack mount versions. It works. It doesn't actually have any issues at all. It doesn't have any. It has one drive in there that I was using to install Windows with, and that's it. It's pretty loud and it's not that powerful, so either I'm going to upgrade it pretty soon or sell it. I mean, I got it for free, so anything I can get for it is profit, but yeah, I don't know. That'll be a project for another time. And then the gaming PC, one day, and I think I mentioned this in a previous vlog, I heard it leaking, but I couldn't actually see it leaking because all the water was draining out of the tubes back into here, so the reservoir was still full. Well, the other day I took a look at it. It looked kind of weird, so I plugged it in and turned it on quick, and the reservoir went all the way down here. So this thing was leaking, but luckily not out of here where it was leaking before, which is good. But what's bad is that it's leaking out of the reservoir, and not just the seal here. Actually, it's not leaking out of here at all. It's leaking around the edge. And short of maybe hot gluing or duct taping it, nothing I can do about that. It's just spent. Yeah, really nothing I can do. So I'm thinking, unless somebody has a suggestion to fix this, I mean, I'm 4.5 minutes into the video, so most of you have probably clicked off, then I'm probably just going to sell the case as is and say, look, it leaks, I don't know where, I don't know why, but if you want it, you can have it for like 20 bucks, because the case is nice. The case is actually excellent. It's in good shape, it's got all the parts. It's just this silly reservoir that leaks. So that's something I'll look into. I'm not sure what the fate of it will be. It really just kind of upset me more than anything, that I put so much time into cleaning it, and I was going to release a video series about it, and then it leaks. So, I don't know. That'll come later. We'll see what happens with that. Nothing really to mention over here, just stuff that I usually have. Elephant in the room, both in something that you haven't seen before and size, because it's massive. It's a Packard Bell Multimedia C110. This I made a video of very briefly. It's up on the channel right now, as of a couple days ago. It works. Nothing wrong with it. The monitor, from what people have told me, is it looks bad just because it's a cheap monitor. The, was it dot pitch or dots per square inch? I think dot pitch is very low or very high. I don't remember. Basically, it's a cheap monitor, so it doesn't look very clear. And I'm used to Sony Trinitron monitors, particularly the Dell branded ones. So, yeah. It's nice to have it all as a set, though. I mean, I got the keyboard, tower, speakers, and monitor, and a mouse that is similar, but doesn't actually belong with it. But I've got extra mice. So now I've got a complete Packard Bell Multimedia C110 setup. Here is my grandmother's computer, back at it again. I've been having some trouble with another laptop, and I was going to diagnose that problem. So I went to go turn it on, and after about 5 minutes, this heatsink, which I think is, I don't recall if it's the North Bridge or South Bridge, it's one of those, got incredibly hot. I actually used, of course I don't know where it is now. Oh, here it is. My desk is a mess at the moment. My little Harbor Freight heat gun here, 69, to take a temperature of what this was at, and it was at 140 degrees, and I could smell it. It definitely smelled hot. So I shut it off, and yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I think it's an issue with this power supply. In fact, I know it's an issue with the power supply. That was a little bit shocking, to say the very least. I've got these, which I bought ages ago. These are fiber channel cards, or, you know, they take a fiber optic connection right there. I've got 7 of these that I do not need. I bought them in a lot of 10. I used one in my Xserve G5. I'm keeping one just as an extra, and then one of the other ones that came with it was actually a PCI Express one, which was nice, because those things are not cheap. So I'm going to keep that one, and the other 7 I need to test. That's the only problem, and I don't have anything to test them in, other than I think the PowerEdge 90, or 59, 2950 has these 64-bit PCI slots. And I would test it in like a PC, but it's got the wrong kind of voltage PCI slot, because the notch is at the front on here and it is at the back. I think it's like the difference between 5 and 3.3 volts or something. So you wouldn't want to run it, or even try, not that you could, in the different slot. Something I'm going to do today before I leave for work in, you know, just half an hour actually, is install this. I bought this slot load disk drive for my gaming PC, because it can take a disk drive. And yeah, it was brand new, came in a whole bunch of packaging. It's all over my desk. And I already had the cable, so I just got to plug it in and see if it works, and find the mount for it, because if we pull this off... Oh, Jesus, that was a little bit rough, Alex. Can't really see it because the lighting is bad, but there's supposed to be a plate right here that you connect it to, so it doesn't wobble all around, and I don't have that. So that I'll do once I end this video. I've got my Compaq Armada M300 back up on the bench once again. I'm trying to install Windows on it, and I actually got as far as booting it from the network over my PXE boot server and installed Windows 2000. However, it didn't quite work all the way, because when it goes to actually complete the installation, it complains that the time and date are incorrect. Like they're before the date when Windows could have actually ever been installed, because it wasn't even released yet. And there's no place in the BIOS to set the password. So I've got to boot this thing off the network, the because it doesn't have a floppy or CD drive and it doesn't boot over USB. I boot it into a DOS shell to change the time to complete my Windows installation, and it's just a mess. Oh god, it's so terrible. And here's the old battery. I actually bought a new one. I was able to find one that works with the 300s and 700s for 12 bucks. Brand new. Or brand new. I don't know if it's actually new, but they said it worked, so I've got that on the way. That should be here soon. This battery's toast. It's not just the batteries, otherwise I probably would have just replaced those. But if we look closely here, no, it's actually on the underside. No, it's not. Where was it? I don't know. Somewhere on here there's a couple of burned out components. So the battery would have to be replaced anyway. So I got a new one. Let's see. I think that's actually about it. Excuse the mess on my desk here. I bought some new RAM. This is actually the old RAM for my NAS. Because now that it's running FreeNAS, which I know I said I'd never do again, but here we are. It really requires a lot of RAM to do what I want it to do. I was maxing out the 8 gigs and it was starting to use 3 gigs of the page file last night, well, a couple days ago. So I bought 16 gigs of RAM, here's the 8 that came out of it, and it's running smoothly now. The camera, as I said, I couldn't record anything on the camera because it's somewhat broken. Well, of course, right now the battery's almost dead too, but this little switch on the top, see, I don't even know what I touched there. This little switch on the top is supposed to change the mode, but it changes it. See, like, I can't even get it to do it right now, but when you're just doing a video at random points, this thing will change its mode. See? Like, you would think it's a little bump that causes it, but I can't even get it to change with just like a little bit of movement. If I do that, I can do it. Usually goes to program and then back to smart auto. It's very annoying, and I don't know how to fix it. This camera's not that great anyway. It doesn't have any autofocus on it. But the audio is very good, which is why I've kept it around for so long. So there we go. A lot of crap has been done. I got a lot of crap still to do, as always. I mean, I'm never going to have all of it done. Oh, one last thing that I thought was interesting that probably nobody else will, but let me pull it up here on the computer. On eBay, there is and has been a listing, I'm sorry about the camera angle, for Dell Latitude CPT laptops. If we look here, should come up here. Well, there's this one guy who has one for, you can't see that, $265, which is ridiculous. And there's somebody else who has a lot of 6 of them. And they want $2,000 for these laptops, for 6 of them. Which, first of all, is ridiculous, because they're not worth anything. At least not that much. Here they are. Oh, he actually reduced it. That's really funny, actually. Because I'm like, you know, these things aren't really worth that much, especially because they're for parts and they're not tested. Yeah, look at this. He wants almost $1,800 for these laptops. And the only reason why I'm interested in them is because it's the exact model that I used to have and the one that I've been searching for so long. So I offered the guy like $100 plus his $50 in shipping, because these things have actually been up here for I don't want to say 2 years, I don't think it's been that long, but about 1.5 years, and nobody's bought them yet. Yeah, look at that. No hard drive, no memory, no CD-ROM, batteries, which I think he said somewhere else are dead. So it's like, and no power supplies either. So why would you ever expect somebody to get you $1,800 for these? And it's weird because they've got so much feedback too. Anyway, that's my little rant. I'm over it. They're not going to change their mind on these, and that's okay, because, you know, whatever. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little update. I will be doing some more live streams, because I know a lot of you like those, so stay tuned. There will be more. These last couple weeks of school are going to be very busy, so don't expect them soon, but eventually. Hope you enjoyed watching, and we will see you in the next video.